Now, this last week, Rex Tillerson has been involved in a firestorm of controversy of what he said or may not have said, or whether or not he was going to resign and who he was going to take with him. Now, it turns out that controversy, well, that angered the president. Now, according to a new NBC News report, Donald Trump found out about Tillerson's earlier intention to quit, and when he did, he was pissed. According to officials, Trump was furious when he saw the NBC News report because this is the first he'd ever seen of it. Now, this was published shortly before 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and what we know about Donald Trump and his Twitter habits, he's usually up around 3 a.m. To 6 a.m. tweeting out random things or attacking somebody or saying how awesome he is. So that's what he does on Twitter. So of course he found out what what Tillerson may or may not have said, whether or not he called him a fucking moron or whatnot, pretty early in Wednesday. Now, according to officials, for the next 2 hours after he found that out, the president fumed inside the White House, venting to Kelly, that's John Kelly, his chief of staff. Now, Tillerson, of course, later on, he's like, oh my God, I got to do something about this. I got to call a press conference, and I got to basically publicly fillet the president in front of everybody, in front of the nation. Now, a spokesman publicly apologized for his comments about Pence and Haley, which he had said, saying that he spoke out of line about conversations I wasn't privy to. Now, Tillerson, of course, as I said, publicly filleted the president, saying that, oh no, he's such a smart guy, wonderful leader, I never had any intention to quit, but he didn't necessarily also refute the reports that he called Trump a fucking moron earlier. So, and that further enraged Trump, according to officials. The secretary's refusal to deny that he had called the president a moron in his opening statement and his responses to questions from reporters stoked Trump's anger and had widened the rift between the two men, according to these officials. After watching the secretary's response on Wednesday, one White House official said, "When Tillerson didn't deny it, I assumed it was true." Sad. Now, if that's not enough, this gets even pettier. According to a new report from Axios, the cable news coverage itself of Tillerson flew Trump into a rage. Now, this report is from Mike Allen and Jonathan Swan, and it claims that Trump's relationship with Tillerson is now broken beyond repair, and that CIA Director Mike Pompeo is now being floated by advisors as a possible replacement for the beleaguered Secretary of State. Now, the report also notes that after what Trump considered a strong trip to Vegas, a strong trip to Vegas, really? He seethed when he got back and he saw Tillerson's gaffe dominating cable news coverage. Everywhere he flipped, there was Tillerson's face instead of his. What a child. Now look, we know Trump cares about cable TV. He wants to be the center of attention. He cares a lot about appearances, and he cares way too much about what the cable news pundits actually say about him. And so when he realized that his positive trip to Vegas was not being covered, and instead it was Rex Tillerson, it pissed him off. No, you guys, you don't understand. This is supposed to be about me. I had an awesome trip to Vegas. Just think about that for a second. He went down to Vegas to talk about the worst mass shooting in modern American history. And yet he's like, why aren't they talking about me? Why aren't they praising me for going down there? Was everybody talking about Rex Tillerson? He didn't do anything. I am so mad now. I'm so angry. This is a guy that has to have the limelight. He's got to have all the attention, and he'll throw a fit and throw a tantrum if he doesn't. And this is somebody, remember, who had to have 2 folders of positive press delivered to him twice a day. And if they couldn't find any positive press, they would put like chyrons or pictures of him looking strong. This is somebody who's super self-obsessed. He doesn't care about anybody else but himself. The president has no empathy. Can you believe that? The president of the United States has 0 empathy towards anyone else. That's insane. But as to the overall takeaway from this, Tillerson, and I know I talked about this yesterday, And I said, look, man, he's got a quote-unquote suicide pact with Mnuchin and James Mattis. And so he's likely not to leave. And I still pretty much believe that, but even though he's there, he's not really there. He's on the outs. He's on the outside now. He is definitely not an insider. And there's only one thing that's keeping him from walking away, and that's that pact with Mnuchin and Mattis. But who knows how long he'll actually honor that and hold that up. And look, while this is happening, the administration is floating Mike Pompeo. This guy's on the outs, man. And look, if they can replace Tillerson, they can replace Mnuchin, and they can replace Mattis. Now, what's interesting is that those three folks are considered to be establishment. So, again, there was another story yesterday where a lot of the Bannon-backed Trump staffers and aides, they're like, just leave already, quit. You should have been out of there because we don't want you here. You're the establishment. We want to get rid of the establishment so we can put in some of our own guys. Trump can put in some of his own guys instead of these, establishment figures. And that might even include John Kelly, who's also made it very, very difficult for people to see the president. So, I mean, look, there's a lot of people in the White House that want these people gone. Now, the only reason that they're all still there is Trump wants a tax cut. Mnuchin is pushing for that tax cut. That's it. But once that passes or fails, and I hope that it fails because the last thing that we need is another giant corporate tax cut for the rich. Well, like I said, whether it fails or not, that's going to be the time when Mnuchin and Mattis and one of these guys either gets fired or resigns. And that's when it's all going to fall apart. Who knows? Anything could happen. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.